Morning. What's going on this morning? Hey, Sky Animates, good morning. What's going on today? Well, thank you for being here today. We're talking about just warming up on the guitar, just a morning ritual for guitar growth this morning. If you're just tuning in, I wanted to welcome you for a really tight session, just a tight session. Today we're talking about 60 beats per minute, and a little bit of 4 attacks per beat, followed by 5 attacks per beat, followed by we'll go ahead and just get our hands ready for a practice day, just ready for the day, and now is a great time to set an intention for our session this morning. And hopefully that intention is something that serves you or your immediate goal system, or it could serve your day, it could serve your longer term goal system, it could serve what you hope to accomplish today. But we'll just go ahead and just set that intention now and hope that that becomes something that we just want to do, revisit time and again as we come through Monday mornings. So I wanted to tune up. I think the tuning fork is right over here this morning. Good morning, Sky Animates. Good morning, Raul. Good morning, Mr. Tortorella. Good morning, Kevin. Hope everyone survived the weekend weather. Oh yeah, we're getting that weather now. Yeah, weather made for good sleep, for certain. Oh, good. Anybody working on anything fun over the weekend on the guitar? We had the ukuleles out. We had a few ukuleles out yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, birthday celebration. And that was a wonderful time. Super time, you know. So I just wanted to get together with the guitar this morning. I don't really have any sort of any sort of specialization for us this week, but what I do have is a really good opportunity to just kind of study the difference between, we're introducing more string skips today, so we want to be prepared, sort of develop those neuro pathways to develop preparedness for when we might be improvising our single note solos, our rock guitar solos, jazz guitar solos, or whatever, blues solos. We are just mentally preparing ourselves, creating those neural pathways with string skips and programmatic finger approaches. So the first thing I like to do, as you know, if you've been here before, we do this every morning, every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. Well, for now it's Eastern Daylight Time. G string. All right, low E string's in tune, so we can just proceed. But we're just every weekday morning at Eastern, 7:30 a.m. at Eastern Daylight Time, and this is just something for us to do together. You know, if you'd like, I'm going to be here doing this anyway, so we can look forward to multiple attacks per beat today and alternating between groups of 4s and groups of 5s. We'll start that on Monday, so by the time we reach Friday, this is going to be a pretty wild week, I think, of warm-up for me personally, and hopefully for you too. So let's go ahead and start with fingers 3 and 4 on frets 11 and 12. And here we go. 2E and a D-E and a... Oh, 5 and 6. Good. All right. Let's get through a couple 4 attacks per beat, and then we'll start with 5 and 6s. Can you hear the metronome? Trying to coordinate right only with metronome. Started taking methylene blue to increase my nerve pathways. Yeah, that's funny. I remember the, who is that? What is that? Scarlett Johansson. It's the film Lucy. What great film. I'm hoping that everybody got some guitaring in this weekend. I've been really working on drilling the bluegrass cycles, so I've been working Devil's Dream. You can go back on my channel and search for Devil's Dream, and I think there are a few other bluegrassy type sessions, like older sessions on my channel. Some are of the bearded Jason, so if you wanted to see the bearded Jason, that's your opportunity now to go find those. So M Flea, what's going on? A 1E and a 2E and a TE and a VOE. So all we're doing is just waking up the fretboard hand and the picking hand with a little bit of breath here. No finger stretches yet, no string skips just yet, but we are definitely approaching those things today. Right hand only. Oh, gotcha. Good idea. A little palm mute. Maybe we could start talking about that a little bit today, how to separate those things out a little bit. Piecemeal those, yeah. Good idea, Kevin. I checked out Denim Dennis's tune, the NYC, and what a great track. Reminiscent of the great Simple Twist of Fate. So let's take a look at fingers 1 and 2. We'll just keep this racket moving. So ready, 1 and a 2E and a, you know what to do, and a. And if you're here this early, you can always hopefully you have a guitar in hand and you're able to jump on board with us and focus on just warming up. So this is not designed, it's not designed to be like a flashy sort of, let's hold the goldfish's attention. This is not designed to do that at all. It's not designed for anything other than digesting a clean, wholesome morning ritual for guitar growth. So that's all this is. Very simple. I feel like I'm starting to come to life here a little bit. get a little bit of a breath in, because this one is going to be finger stretches here, so it's getting stretchy. So fingers 2, no, that's not 2, is it? Fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4 on frets 10 and 12, and we're still using 4 attacks per beat, and we'll go ahead and start here. 1, 2 E and a T E and a O E and yeah, Dan, good morning, good morning. I love that tune as well, Anthony. Great recording. That Denim Dennis record is spectacular. Good morning, Mark. Bernard, good morning, guitar family. Morning crew. Flu and sinus infection last week was brutal. Yeah, we've got a little bit of fungus among us over here too. Oh, Journeyman EP is 2 years old today. That's quite a celebration right there. Time to do like a re-release on that. Simple, very clean, like quarter, I guess it's 16th note grid, but we're just working on in terms of how many attacks per beat. 4 attacks per beat, fingers 2 and 3, 10 and 12, 2 E and a T E and a go E and a. A friend of mine owns one of the, like a record shop. He, hey Raul, good morning. Well, one of my good friends owns a record shop still, and he's selling albums and stuff. So, and CDs. He still does CDs and stuff, but records. And he talks about it as the way he understands how selling albums and musical products works. It's a tremendous amount of work after you get the CD done, or after you get the album done. It's more work is involved in promotion than there is actually in the act of making the thing, right? So we've got I'm not sure, the dogs are going off here. I'm not sure quite what's happening, so I may have to step away for a second to see what's going on in the house here, but 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a fo E and a. Vinyl records. He has a pile of vinyl. I mean, he just sells vinyl like crazy. Let the dogs bark, dude. They're just babies. They do bark. They're going. I think my son is stopping in. He's sick today, so I'm going to try to stay away from him a little bit. Although I feel like I've maybe picked up a little bit of what he has over the weekend. Yeah, music, the dog's barking. It's music to my ears. We're going to start working as soon as we get caught up to 4 fingers. We're going to start working those 5 in group 5 quintuplets and sextuplets. Okay. We have 4 doggies. Three doggies. But they're English Springer Spaniels, so there's a liver and white, a black and white, and a black-tipped sable tricolor. And they're the equivalent of probably 6 dogs. If anyone has ever owned Springers, they're pretty excitable dogs. They'll go 10 hours, run straight until their hearts pop, and they just don't stop. You don't even really need an instrument to get the birds out of the field, if you know what I mean. They'll just kind of run, and they're supposed to run and flash, but and then retrieve. But Tucker picks them right off the ground. The black and white ones, yeah, the bird dogs, yeah. One of them, the black and white's a blue ribbon agility runner. The liver and white's brother is the fastest Springer Spaniel in the nation. He just won Westminster in his class. All right, a few drops of oil, organ oil under the tongue will knock those colds and flus right. Oh, cool. Good thinking. Romance d'amour. Yeah, good. King 420. Nice. Oh, the old bloodhound. Yeah, right on. We've got a friend who runs hounds, he runs beagles, he runs hound doggies. And man, he likes to rabbit. He likes to rabbit. Yeah, we've had pooches around for a long time. So let's go ahead and jump into fingers 2, 3, and 4. And we're starting on 10, 11, and 12. Maybe we'll get into some requests a little later today. We haven't done that for a while. So keep those coming. 1E and a 2E and a TE and a VOE. And we're going to go ahead and just think about running the pooches. I'm going to go ahead and think about running the pooches and the equivalent level of freedom that implies in one's lifetime. If you haven't run with dogs in the field before, man, we like to take the long lens and the sport cameras out, you know, the high speed lenses, and then we love to just kind of let them run and just let the cameras run at 60 FPS or whatever, and then just kind of just get them caught in the action. So, any new listening? Anybody listening to anything new that I'm missing out on? Whether it's new to you or new to us, new listening. I'll tell you what, the Denim Dennis record Journeyman right here on YouTube is pretty right on. Oh, nice chops. Thanks, man. Just working the chops. I try not to get too, sometimes my ego will get out of, I try to lose my ego. I try to abandon my ego. As you know, it can be a challenge to do that. Because I think it would be more flashy of me to just sort of take all of the requests I can and absorb all of those things and then, you know, shoot for numbers, shoot for, you know, more viewers. But again, that's the bad businessman in me, is I just don't really care. I'm here for one reason and one reason only, every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Right now it's Eastern Daylight Time. So 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, and 12. And it's not to be Mr. Flash. It's not to be Mr. Guru. I'm not your hero. I'm not your, you know, I'm not any of that, right? You're your own hero. We're our own heroes. We're the heroes of our own narratives. And it's a tremendous amount of work. And it's definitely an uphill battle to do something fine, to do something, to do the fine thing, to do the thing that is up and beyond, it's above and beyond the day-to-day of living, you know, the boots on the ground sort of like the existential struggle, you know. Above and beyond that is fine art. And of course, if we're here, we all have some sort of appreciation for fine art. And that's what we're here for, serving that art, that high art. So 10, 11, and 12, in the best way I know how to. 1E and a 2E and a you know what to do. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. And sometimes I play with the metronome and sometimes I drift, as has been pointed out by the live chat, but never to worry, that metronome is always on my mind. Yes, it is always on my mind. Like Monk and Coltrane, thinking, you know, about the tune that they're started playing, and then they stop playing, they walk down the street and they're still singing the song, but internally they're both still in the exact, their time's so good, they're both still in the exact same place in the song together, even though there's no performance of the song happening. That's the kind of thing that we're really working on. Just to take this thing that we understand as the guitar currently to a new place. And And that's the one thing about the guitar, like historically about the guitar, from the time of antiquity. You know, the guitar has always been a relatively inexpensive instrument, so it's a relatively low barrier for entry into the high art. And then it's also portable, so super interesting. And it's also been, you know, relatively recently been super popularized by a number of artists or performers, you know, hundreds of years ago into you know, up to now or whatever. So it's a wide range of repertoire. There's no shortage of stuff for us to talk about. There's no shortage of things for us to do. So the only thing we need to do without being overwhelmed, I didn't know if we do this. We did these stretches. Hey, Avoid Ralph is on the chat this morning. Mr. Ralph, how are you doing today? Good to see you. We're just talking esoteric. JT Frazier, you know. Oh, we've got some new songs here. Hounds of Also. Okay. Just finally got an email sent to you. Cool. Tobians, yeah, that's right. I've been listening to 3 Sacred Souls lately. Well, thank you for the recommendation. This is a stretch period for me, so I should be stretching. All right, so we've got the straight elbow, we're pulling back for 15 clicks, pulling down 15 clicks, switching arms 15 clicks. Ooh, this feels good. I've been already sort of engaged in my yogic workout this morning, so certainly benefiting from that today with posture and core strength. So my breathing is already pretty much dialed in. I mean, it's not really dialed in. I could get a lot better at it, but here we go. So we have 3 Sacred Souls. We'll give them a check. 4 different kinds of dogs. 4 different kinds of dogs. Wow. What do you have for dogs? Terrapin Clubhouse sessions blowing me away. Oh, that's right. The ego is a ring of defense around nothing. Oh, there you go. Nadha Brahma. Mad Hatter, the protagonist in my true story, in my story. Good morning, my secret life. Good morning. A lot of false egos out there. Marco, you are correct. I've been listening to Avi Kaplan lately, previously with pentatonics. Oh my word, the pentatonics. Our daughter is just, you know, we have pentatonics on over here almost every holiday session, right? Definitely Christmas time. Their Christmas albums are just jaw droppers. It's like a heartbeat. I find this relaxing. Who let the dogs out? That might be close to 60 beats per minute, actually. Twas brilliant. And it's those slifty toes. Balsam for the soul. Hey, speaking of that, Raul, have you heard Balsam Range yet? There's an acoustic group called Balsam Range. And I will tell you what, boy, what a great band. If you listen to, you know, the one where it's kind of like a picaret, it's like a watercolor sort of abstract of like, you can see like spruce trees almost forming. I forget what the name of the album is, but that's a really great record to check out. If you listen to them, let me know what you think. I just dig those guys. All right, so we're going to do 4 fingers, and we're starting with 5 attacks per beat, followed by 6 attacks per beat, which is going to be a challenge for me. So I'll likely give you a break from all of the verbiage I'm communicating here. So don't hold it against me. And if you're just tuning in, before we start this, I wanted to welcome you to the morning ritual for guitar growth. And this is specifically designed for me and you to go through a warm-up session, a quality uninterrupted warm-up session, except for moments like this, where we throw the net to inform others that we are here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And it's free, and you can jump on board. It's every weekday morning, all year long, 2025. All year long. I'm here, I'm doing the thing, and I'll be happy to have you here doing the thing with me. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start thinking quintuplets. Let's go ahead and take Mr. Haas. We'll take Mr. Kevin Haas and then introduce just the clicks. So this is 4 attacks per beat. Here's 5 attacks per beat. And we're going to alternate because it's not an even, it's an odd meter, it's an odd subgrouping, it's odd grouping, so we'll actually start. Just disregard the metronome for just one moment. And 1 E, or 1, 2, and I'm going to group this in 1, 2, 1, 2 T, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A grouping of 2 followed by a grouping of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next grouping of 5 starts with the upstroke. 1, 2, T, 4, 5. So this is wonderful for the picking hand so that we can become proficient, high levels of proficiency, both with the downstroke and the upstroke. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, I'm exaggerating the downstroke. We obviously don't want to blast through the downstroke in this particular setting, but down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, and then here are the sextuplets, or the 6 beats per minute per beat. 6 attacks per beat. So these are even again, so we're starting with down, and we're starting each round with down. Balsam Range, correct. Yeah, Burning Georgia down, yeah. Super clean guitar. Caleb's a great guitar player. Down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, or okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So there's quite a difference between the 5 group and the 6 group. So if you wanted to just bear with me, maybe you can witness me suffering a little bit, and it's for the greater good though, so I'm happy to do it. I'll take one for the team. Here we go. 1, da 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 da. So 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, we'll alternate 5 and then 6. 1, 2, 3, go. is. All right, so we made it, survived it, and if you are still here, if you wouldn't mind smashing that like button, cheers to you. Ran out of honey last night. When's the honey harvest? I want to buy for a guitar, one of our guitar friends. Absolutely. All right, so let's go ahead. Open D minor with a B root at the A string. Open D minor with a B root at the A string. Okay, so that I missed something. So you want to work on that. Let's take a look at that later today. Let's do that. Anthony, I have loads of honey. Oh, you've got honey ready to go. The band Feel is a good big guitar classic rock band. Feel, okay? We'll check that out. Double picking time. All right. I was using 50 beats per minute. Same for, yeah, good idea to just keep that coming down. Yeah, keep that metronome under control, absolutely, and then build it back up. Same for any DTF ideas or desires. Never know, you might see some new Jason Carey shirts popping up on the site soon too. Double tap that screen. Yeah, brothers, yeah. All right, Photorial. Hey, Photorial, what's going on? Photorial, I haven't seen your name here yet. Welcome here to the channel. So if you're just tuning in, this is the morning ritual for guitar growth. This is sponsored by me, and it's just kind of, we're lighting up the morning with a morning ritual for guitar growth. So we're working on breath, or I'm working on breath at least. Many of the people here in live chat and who are watching have guitars in hand, and we're here playing through just the breath, the tune-up, and the chromatic style warm-ups that we do every morning. So this is just a really simple thing to do. It's just a matter of getting to the seat time. We'll start with fingers 1, 2, 3, 4, stretch 4, and we'll come back and we'll complete that exercise, and we'll come back to 1, 2, 3, 4, but stretch 1 back, okay? We'll start with quintuplets this time, just straight 5-note groups, 5 attacks per beat. Here we go. 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, double picking on them. Oh, good idea. Each line really wants to live and breathe, you know, as it's, even though this is a morning warm-up, we still wanted, I still want to treat this like it's a musical experience. So 1, 2, 2, 3, and go. To stick around at the end, because we are going to study drop D a little bit, and we are going to look at drop D Dorian mode. And how I might develop like licks based on D Dorian mode with a drop D if we were, you know, just kind of working on writing a song or drafting some licks or whatever. I'm in the middle of really drafting doing some research and development around sort of like updating some of my bluegrass licks G runs, and I'm working on applying some new concepts while trying to recognize and observe traditions, right? So just finding that nice little balance of listenability and playability and interest, right? So let's go ahead and drop that first finger back. We'll kick it back to the 8th fret. 8, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 1, 2, ding, 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 ding. We're just working 5 attacks per beat with a finger stretch on figure 1, and I'm just working on making sure that I don't have any tension in my legs. For some reason my tension is in my calf muscles at the moment. Oh, it's breath. Breath controls that. So now is a good time for me to just do another brief stretch, a 1-minute stretch. So we'll go ahead and take a little bit of risk of losing some viewership, viewer drop-offs. I don't know what prompts someone to stay, what prompts someone to go. I might know about that. I guess I might be a nerd about that. But this is not designed for retention. This is not designed to recruit new viewers. Although new viewers are always welcome. This is just simply a way for me to document and store all of my personal guitar growth through morning ritual warm-ups over the span of the entire year of 2025. So this is not designed to calculate fame and fortune, and it's actually hurting my YouTube channel, right? If you believe it, because of the way people watch this type of video, my stats are not as good as what they used to be before I started doing this. So, but I'm not all that interested in. I should be more interested in it, but I have very specific goals for myself right now, and I just wanted to take these moments in the morning to just, number one, if I feel like I have that goal and that interest to move the dial, so to speak, I thought other people are surely looking to move the dial, and they might benefit from the seat time too, and the encouragement just to kind of come and hang out for a few weeks or a couple months or the whole year, whatever you feel like you want to do. But the goal is, I'm going to take another round on these stretches because it feels good. The goal is I've already taken a snapshot, and I know Raul here in the live chat has already taken multiple snapshots of his progress, but I want to have a snapshot of the first lesson that we did, the first Lives Nut lesson, the first morning ritual for guitar growth that we did this year. And even before the beginning of this year, I want to take that snapshot and I want to look at my posture, I want to look at everything about me, I want to study everything about me. And I want to take the last video I do in 2025, 260 hours later, and I want to directly compare those two videos. And I want to not lose sight of that. That is the whole reason why I'm doing this longitudinally like this. I want to be able to calculate very clearly what my personal benefit is from spending 260 hours over the span of 5 days a week for an hour, every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or in this case, daylight time, for a year. So that's all this is about. It's very simple. It's not about anything other than that. It's not, you know, about me getting the old gimmick out saying, you know, coffee and guitar, or, you know, hot girls and guitars, or learn guitar in 30 seconds with Jason Kidd. You know, it's not really designed to be anything like that at all. But if it turns into something else, it will be interesting to see what it actually turns into over the span of a year, for me anyway. All right. We should do double picking. All right, double picking it is. So we use the fingers 4 attacks per beat, but we're going to use this, you know, this diagonal pattern that we've grown to know and love so well. We know this and we love it so much. All right, so we've got this really cool, and that's, oh, it's faster than, so those are 60, very fast group 30-second, or we're talking triplets at a very fast clip, but we're not doing that sort of like sloppy pick, you know, sweep picking thing. We're doing a very calculated right hand approach, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, reverse that, drop the position, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. For those of you who are interested, stick around, because I just decided just now that I am going to run over this morning at the bottom of the hour at 8:30. I am going to drop the D string. I'll talk to you about exactly how I do it. Exactly, there's a foolproof way to get there, foolproof way to get back, and it's super quick, super easy. So if you're playing a drop D tune in your solo gig, or your you know, open mic, or your tour dates or whatever, super easy to do. You probably already know how to do it, but I'm just going to go through the process, and then we're going to talk about D Dorian mode, which we never talk about. It's going to be fancy because we have the open B string, which is natural to D Dorian. We'll do a few chords, we'll develop a few brand new licks together. And so I'm just going to take another 15 minutes at the end of this session to do that. So if you want, feel free to stick around. If you don't want to, obviously that's okay, and I will bid you a good day. But here we go. We're starting 1 E and a 2 E and a D E and a 4, and every once in a while, why don't we throw them? Why don't we just throw in a couple of double notes once in a while wherever we feel like it. So 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a 4 E and a... Oh, I did a Midnight Rider tutorial on this channel a while ago. It's a pretty cool song. Yeah, I had a friend who Tony wanted to learn it. So I placed that on the Midnight Rider. It's got a really cool intro, you know, and it's really specific. There's a little bit of a pick sweep in the intro of that song, and I think I broke it down. I think I broke that down in that particular session. And that, for me, that intro is just worth the price of admission. So 4 middle strings, same thing, 2 T E and a 4 E. And sometimes learning songs isn't about learning the entire song. Sometimes we hear a song and we just want to learn that piece of the song, and that's all we need to learn at the moment, because, you know, we're adult learners and we can learn whatever we want, whenever we want, hopefully, and then not feel too badly about it. You know what I mean? It's like, I try to remind myself that I will learn all things in time, all things that I need to know in my lifetime, that I'm meant to know. I will come to know them when it is time. And I have some friends who pray for that wisdom too, and I'm one of those people who pray for that wisdom, right? If you don't ask, how do you receive, right? 1 E and a 2 E and a T E, and I'm starting on 12, just to extend the range, because I'm really enjoying stretching out on this. Just stretching out on this exercise. Sloppy there, but that's okay. how we get to the place. That's how we identify. So I can't identify the problem. Number one, if I can't identify the problem, I can't fix it. So that's problematic. But if I do put myself in a situation where I create these little problems to solve, and I do take the time to come back, the trick is to allow myself the time. And it's very simple to allow I find when I allow myself the time to stop where I'm going. I had this one student, I've got to tell you this, I've got to do one more finger exercise here while I'm telling you this, because I won't share this person's name, but you've got to hear this story. It's just so, it's a parable to what we could all be going through, I think, at least at a certain relatable level. Maybe not to the point of psychosis or whatever, but maybe, you know, I don't know. It's a good story though. Let's go ahead and take a look at 1, 2, 4. Let's do 1, 2, 4. These are kind of borrowed from John Petrucci's stuff, and it's just, this is also part of Steve Vai's 10-hour guitar workout, where he's just kind of going up and descending the same 1, 2, 4 pattern, up the pattern, and then down the pattern, but he's still ascending the little 1, 2, 4 framework. So I'm just going to do this here, and I start up here because I like to start with a smaller stretch and then work my way back to the stretch and then come back to the place from whence I came. So, and 1 E and a 2 E and a D E and a O E and a. Oh yeah, nice, Monkey Man. There you go, Marco, awesome. So the story goes, like, if we don't allow ourselves the time, sometimes we'll get through this passage and we'll realize that, wow, I can't play that passage, so I'll try it again at the same tempo and I still can't play it. And I'll try it again at the same tempo and I still can't play it. And I watched one of my students back in the early days go through this, and I thought, just let's slow it down a little bit, and this person just refused to slow it down. The face was getting a little more red, just kept getting faster and faster and more frustrated, to the point where he you know, he's going to break. And I thought, well, there was no real guidance there. You know, I could have just reminded, I think maybe I did remind this person to continue to breathe. But what I've learned in the decades since then, it is okay to take the time and just to kind of pull the metronome off, or pull it down, or just kind of completely turn it off and work on the thing. Let's do 1, 3, and 4 as well. 1, 3, 4, and 1 E and a 2 D and a button on my shoe. And I remember the look. I remember the look in the face. You know, it was, here we go, starting E 2 E and in Glacier Pain and playing along, and a 4 E and I remember the look in the face, and it was just no person left behind the eyeballs. It was just sheer frustration and anger, and you know, I wouldn't have been surprised if he whacked me with his guitar. I really wouldn't have been. But breath is a supremely important piece of this puzzle for me, and I know that to be the case. But also, it is really important to, and I'm drawing a parallel to where we're going with the drop D Dorian mode, okay? Drop D is, we're going to take the low E string and tune it down a whole step so that it sounds like the note D. And we are going to benefit from that being a lower tone than the low E string, so it's a little deeper, it's a little looser, the strings it resonates a little differently. But when we go through and start working on creating really cool lines and licks and riffs in drop D Dorian mode, you might witness me just kind of venturing into new ground, which is cool. But you're going to witness, you know, the art of exploration, and that's why that's why I'm here, is to discover new pathways. Sure, I want to learn from the Tony Rices and the Bryan Suttons and all of those people, and the Keith Richards and all those great models. I want to pull from the repository of music for certain, but now I also, you know, Wes Montgomery, Freddie Green, Kurt Rosenwinkel, Lage, you know, all of the Nels Cline. I mean, Nels, come on. I mean, you know, how do you control noise? So I do want to absorb all of those things and transcribe and play and put all of those things under my own fingertips, but it's also important for me to take that seat time and discover new paths forward for my own person, so that I might feel like I'm developing myself instead of just constantly becoming someone I'm not. So that's a really hard thing. That can be a really hard thing for some of us to do, but an easier thing for some of us, right? Harder for others, easier for some. And I just want to be encouraging that it's really okay to try to find your own paths forward and your own licks and your own. That's where it all really starts to add up for me. Do you know what I mean? So that's what's going to happen in the next 8 minutes. Okay, I'm going to just start shifting gears to drop D, and then you're going to notice what happens to me. You can observe what happens to me when I'm in a situation of discovery. And, you know, is it always pretty? I don't know. It is what it is. Getting the gist of a song, yeah. Big fan of getting a gist of the song, so I can jump in and jam along like I'm in the band. Yeah. Just letting the song play, letting the record spin and just play along with it like you're the guitar player they forgot to hire for the recording date. I totally understand. That's how all the greats learned, you know. That's how all the greats studied. If you didn't get it the first time around, you could put the needle back and let it run again, let it spin again, and then you do that for 8 hours a day, and by the time you get one note, and you just keep playing, don't let it stop. You can transcribe and go back one note, get that one note, get the next note, use the additive process, get one note at a time, which I do when I'm transcribing like Tony Rice, or when I'm transcribing John Coltrane's Giant Steps solo to guitar. You know, that kind of stuff. To find our paths through those things, it is one note at a time, and it's like building with blocks. But there's also some validity in just letting the record play, just letting the album spin, play along like you're the guitar player in the band. And just imagine myself like I'm on stage with the band, or I'm in the date, on the recording date, and I don't want to record anything that's not good. So I will be very careful, cognizant to only play the things that I know are going to sound good. And that helps to boost my confidence, and that helps me to build better, more solid, palatable, clearly understandable lines that my audience is not going to be left alienated from, okay? So listening is 99.9, I think. I don't know what the ratio is. I don't know what the science is behind it. But I wouldn't want to weaponize science against music. So I guess music is, I did study music science, but a high percentage of learning music is listening to music, right? And listening and absorbing all of the different things that we can absorb, and quantifying those, and, you know, transcribing those things. So All right, so real quick, I want to go through fingers 1 and 3 because we didn't do this yet. I want to get all of these digits kind of like, just kind of worked. We're going to do 1 and 3, you know, with a stretch, and then we're going to do 2 and 4 with a stretch, and then what we'll do is we'll jump into drop D in open position, okay? 1 E and 2 E, 9 and 12, and 1 and 3. Let's do septuplets here. Feels like it could be a little better speed for this morning. 1, 2, oh, popikite, pato popikite, 1, 2, popikite, 1, 2, go. I'm going to slide between each position. And then same thing, fingers 2 and 4. 1, 2, you know what to do. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the old straight arms here. One more stretch and then we'll get ready to jump in, okay? Here we go. Good quality breaths. Big in, big out. And we'll go ahead and just get these downs here. Big in, again. Big out. And then big in. Big out. And big in. And then out. Oh, Chicago, yeah, right on. So what we're going to do is just kick it down a notch to D. So there are a bunch of cool songs in D that we can. Da. So what's the first note? Is a burning thing, leaves a fire down. So the 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down to 60. Kevin, thanks for being here, man. We'll see you tomorrow at 7:30. Thank you. See what I did there? Just playing the low D, A, and now D string. It's just an E note that we'll call the open low E string D. And if I play it correctly, it should sound like a chord. Now I can double check that because I've tuned the guitar down. I've tuned only the low E string down a whole step, the equivalent of 2 frets. So it's like I took this nut and I added 1 fret, 2 frets below it. So the string is effectively this long now, right? It's not really because of the way it vibrates, but you know what I mean. So that means if anything, when I used to tune the low E string to the A string, I used to be on fret 5, same as the open A string. But now because that A string is, that A note, the E string has been tuned down 2 frets, I have to compensate for that by moving all of the fretted tones up 2 frets here. So I would use fret, now this is now a D note, and so I have an open D string on fret 12, fret harmonic, and I have the same harmonic partial right here on fret number 5 harmonic on the low E string. So that's one way to double check. I could use fret 7 on the low E string. It's also an A note now. D, E, F, G, A. Good. All right, so how do we turn this into, we'll start right away with the low E string. And D Dorian, who knows which, anybody here know which parent scale, which parent major scale is the parent of D Dorian mode? So the parent scale would be C major. So I'm working on E or D, and I'm playing all of the notes from C major scale. So D, F, G, open A. So now instead of 3 notes per string, I now have to contend with 4 notes per string on the low E string in order to get to the regular tuning of the guitar now. So there's a lot going on here that we can benefit from. So we're starting with, or I'm starting with open D, moving up to E, F, G, and then A, B, and then everything else is the key of C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. But now we're just pretty much working on triads. I'm alternating back and forth between the C major triad, the D minor triad, the E minor triad, the F chord, G chord, A minor, B diminished or half diminished, E minor 7/5, but in triadic form it's diminished, and then C, and then D minor. Yeah. We can also use the open high E string. Hey, ABST. Good morning. Everyone forgets that we are also learning language here. Yes. Beautiful playing. Oh, Lunar Star Light Wolf Goddess. Very cool handle. Beautiful playing. Wow, you're definitely endearing me quickly. I'm excited about that. Thank you very kindly. Thank you very much. So half tones, thirds, fifths, key signatures, don't be intimidated. You can learn it. Absolutely. Rye. What's going on, Rye? Is there a reason the capo is up there on the nut? You know what? I'm so glad you asked that. Here's the reason. It's stationed. It stays there. It's just kind of ready to go. So if I wanted to move D Dorian in open position, well, this way. So I like, you know, I have other, you know, the other one, the Kaisers and the Shubs and all that stuff, and it's great. They're all good. They're all good. I just prefer to not have things in my pocket. So if I need to grab for a capo, I don't want to fiddle around in my pocket. I don't like the feel of things being in my pocket, so I don't do that. I like to keep it here handy and ready to go. And so if I wanted to move it up to, like, let's say E Dorian, you know, I can just kind of clamp it off onto, I just want to be sure that, you know, the bar is actually parallel with the fret as best I can, and then I don't want to over tighten it, so as I just tighten it, the strings get captured. That's as tight as I want to get it, otherwise I'll kind of like pushing down on a fret too hard will bend the notes out of tune. So now I have E Dorian right here. Maybe if I'm going to play a little harder, I've got to put a little more attention on the capo here, or the portable nut. That's kind of what's going on. It's just always there. I always keep them on every guitar, so I don't have to mess around and just kind of search for things. I don't like to be in a situation where I have to feel like I'm up in the air about anything. So I think a lot about just reducing friction in my life, and this is one of those ways. Great super capo. I've had all the other ones and they all fail. I've never had one of these fail. And maybe they don't all fail, maybe I just am not using them correctly, but I don't know, could be anything, you know. I just like these for some reason. All right. Nice to have you here, Rye. Thanks for being here. So if I wanted to create like this really cool boss, Like what are the characteristic sounds of D Dorian? So that's one of the things I really want to ask myself. Well, so it's got a D Dorian has a 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, and a natural 6, flat 7. So the one characteristic sound of Dorian is going to be the natural 6. You know, the characteristic tone or tones of Aeolian mode might be the flat 6. And then, you know, the characteristic tone of Phrygian might be the flat 2. Locrian mode might be the flat 5, right? So each mode has its own characteristic sound. So I'm trying to generate 2 triads that generate the characteristic, covers basically all of the ground within that mode. And one way that I can do that is just by generating a D minor triad, you know, D minor and E minor. So let's examine that relating to D Dorian. So the 1, I have a 5, I have a 1, I have a flat 3. And then E minor, I have a 1, I have well, as long as I play the drone note, but I have a 6, a 9, and a 4. So these are definitely characteristic of D minor, D Dorian mode, not D natural minor. If we say D minor, that's implicative of relative minor or Aeolian mode or A natural or D natural minor. So we want to specify, if we're playing Dorian mode, we want to specify Dorian. And I'm specifying that now. You know how I'm specifying that? I'm saying it out loud and I'm using 2 characteristic tones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work from D minor and then head up to E minor. I'm going to play melody, F from the top, and then I'm going to head up to G, and then back up to D minor, E minor, D minor, E minor, and then back to the place from whence we came. So you can start to hear the chord, the chord scale sort of flesh itself out. So D minor. Oh, and then we see we have a C note in there. And so on and so forth, and we can use all of the triads and play those diatonically, but we only really need to know 2 triads. So if I do this on the key of D, well, D Dorian on the D, G, and B strings, I've got an F, an A, and a D. So D minor triad, done. D, F, and A, right? Just an inversion of it. And I have an E minor triad here, and then I have another D minor here, and then, you know, the Mark Knopfler. That barred from that shape, and then same, or the A minor chord shape, right? And then D minor, E minor, D minor, the stairway to heaven minor shape, and then move that up a whole step to E minor, and then back to the place from whence we came. So what I'm going to try to do now is create just this really cool, just really simple 60 beats per minute boom chick pattern. I'm just going to try to create a Dorian mode, a Dorian based D run or G run, D run. Ooh, that's relative minor, so here's what's going to happen. it's not major either, it's minor. So it's really, you know, not typical to the flat picking or G, you know, the G run, sort of like blurring the lines between major and minor. This is distinctively minor sounding. And you were right, Guitars for Everyone. I saw your comment. D Dorian is the happy minor. So while we're doing all this work, I can remember like being a long distance runner or a general mountaineer, you know, moving 17 miles a day. You've got to keep a tank in reserve, and then that reserve for me is that open drop D. That drop D is just such a powerful reserve to have right there. So now I'm just trying to 1, 2, D, 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 da. That really nice sort of typical minor pentatonic turnaround. Oh, you know what it is? It's Country Boys Can't Survive. Also going to try to start like an ascending and a descending lick, a single string lick. I'm going to do all of this in the next couple of minutes, so this is not going to take long, but I'm thinking I want it to be a little more blues infested, you know what I mean? Just basically playing the C major triad. Let's try the C major triad for a second. Let's see what happens when we play C. Do we have the 6 in there of the D chord? We have the 4, the flat 7, and then the 9. So that's not really a characteristic chord, right? But we do, when we play the E minor, we have the 6 in there, which creates a characteristic chord for D Dorian mode. So we've got to really focus on the flavoring of that 6. It's the Page capo, Page, P-A-I-G-E. If you come back to this video or any of the other live videos, I'll be sure to share a link to those. If you wanted to support the channel, you can purchase your own Page capos through any of the links in the descriptions or in the cards of the videos and stuff. So certainly appreciate that, you know. And they're not all that expensive. They're just the same price as everything else, but they're just, you know, they're cool. If you're playing an acoustic guitar, this is definitely a sensible approach for me anyway. Drop down D and Dorian the same. Oh, yeah, no. So we could play, so D Dorian, dig this for a second. Good question. So D Dorian is going to be like all of the notes from the C major scale. So C major, let's go back to C major for a minute. Have that C is basically the root note, and it's do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. C is 7 steps to heaven. C to shining C is all of the notes for do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, or C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. We're not playing any accidentals, no sharps, no flats. So it's the Garden of Eden, pretty much, right? So it's we're we're taking that note C and then we're shifting the weight of the C scale to the root. We're placing the functional root area to the second degree of the C note or the C scale. So instead of C major scale sounding like you are my sunshine, my only sunshine, you make me happy when skies are gray. Instead of hearing that as the root note, C, we're going to hear D minor as the root note. Or D minor 7, or whatever it is, this one, you know. Like an F chord with a D in the bass. So we're playing all of the notes from the C major scale. And we have a D, the D chord is the second degree, the second note in the C major scale. And because we have the D note as the center, it becomes really easy for us to drop the D note. Drop D, and we can use that now as a droning string. But we're playing all of the notes from C major still. Not D major, right? D minor or D Dorian. Can't say D Dorian. I'm D minor because that implies different mode. But here's D Dorian. It's a D note with all of the C notes on C scale on top of it. Good question. Yeah, this is where it gets kind of like sketchy for a little bit, you know. Slightly sad, but I'm also happy that I woke up in the morning. So we've got the flat 3 and then the 6, which is a nice light, bright, happy color to add into the minor mix. So the typical minor scale that we would hear would be like you know, the Aeolian mode with a flat 6, but this has the bright, shiny, natural 6 in it. So and because the 1 chord is D minor, the 4 chord in the key of D minor or D Dorian is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be G major, which we can use fret, you know, the G, because we're drop D, we have to calculate, add compensation for the string being low. So here's the new G5, and then here's what the D minor looks like. Oh, here's kind of a cool song. Put no star in my head, no flowers on my tomb, no gold-plated sign in a marble pillared room. The one thing I want when they lay me in the ground, when I die, tear my still house down. I'll tear my still house down, let it go to rust. Don't leave no trace of it hiding the place where they made that evil stuff. For all my best of me. I'm trying not to play the flatted 6. I'm trying to push up. Instead of falling backwards, the flat 6 indicates that I have that half step, which is closer to the descending note than the natural 6 is closer to the next available higher note. So we have a shift in mentality. We're thinking going up, and we're thinking instead of going up, with a flatted 6, we're thinking about coming down. So it's a little darker sound. D Dorian being, because of the natural 6, has us thinking upward. It's a more naturally brighter sound, I think, yeah. Oh, yeah. She Talks to Angels. She Talks to Angels. I did a section, I broke that down on my channel a little while ago too. You should check that out. It's a really great, it's one of my favorite songs. And they do that in open E tuning. And I walk you through all of that in that session. So you could actually search She Talks to Angels on my channel if you haven't seen it yet. Yeah, it's definitely the beginning. This is an opening door. This is a door that's opening. And once this door is open, this gives us access to all of the, musical, the modal, the diatonic major modal palette. We have access to a lot more on the guitar than we ever really imagined we might have access to. So this is the beginning of opening that door. So great to hear that you're excited about it. Oh yeah, so here's what happens, the tuning lock, yeah. I leave it at rest up here so it kind of floats around. If I leave it too loose, it'll float around and just kind of jingle itself onto the fretboard. So I have to position it a certain way, and then what happens is tighten it up a little bit, just enough so that it doesn't jingle around. But if I tighten it too much, it's going to depress these strings back here and then pull these strings out of tune. It'll pull these strings this way once it depresses that. So I do not want to add any additional fret pressure behind here. I just want it to be tight enough so that it doesn't play around back here and jingle around. I want it to be tight. It'll move a little bit, but it won't free itself. So you'll get used to that as time goes on. But it's a good idea, the strap, we need a little bit more tension, and we really need a bite, like metal on metal, like a locking tuner, like on like the Floyd Rose system, in order to stop the string from traveling this way. Wilkinson makes a really nice roller bearing nut, they used to anyway, but that was a really cool thing to have on a Strat way back in the day. They had the needle bearings and they had the 2 roller bearings on each side of the string. Super, super cool system. I kind of wish I had that guitar still, but maybe one day, maybe one day. So anyway, I wanted to just introduce us to D Dorian Mode. Mr. Tony Rice used to play this way, he used to play this way. He was really interested in opening up the sound of a key on his guitar, and so you hear a lot of this. So let's do a couple of let's do a couple of licks in the style of Tony Rice. But let's focus on the 6 though. And then we'll kind of try to figure out how to get back here. But I like this kind of hammer on from the open. Oh, we could put the tritone in here too. That would probably help to define the scale, the mode a little bit. Oh. All right, yeah, that'll be good. Oh, that's minor. That's relative minor. That's good. That's D Dorian because we have the B note here. We're focusing on the B. And then we're focusing on all of the notes from the C major scale. But we're focusing with the D as the root note. We're starting to shape up the lick now. We've got to figure out where the lick's going to live, you know. To ding, down, down, good down. Oh, we can use chromatic approaches too, right? So that's where it starts to get really excited. And if you're still hanging out here with me, if you haven't smashed that like button yet, I sure would appreciate that. Find something that's similar and interested, something that's similar and as interesting in the descending pattern, right? Something that uses the B natural or the notes from C major. And I have the 9, which is the open high E string in the mode. And then I can use that as a pedal tone or a drone tone. Let me just start something simple here. We'll start with something descending. Oh, that's what we'll do. No. There it is. There it is. could use the same shape, but I'd have to use that flat 3. So I have to conform my fingering pattern to the root, 6, 9, flat 7, 5, 9, 5, flat 3, 6, and then I just walk up, and then whatever I need to relieve, whatever I need to consume for remaining measures or remaining beats, then I can just kind of put a little jazz through it. So. Oh, maybe we can turn it around here. Oh, we could do something like that, you know. Oh. We could do all kinds of different stuff. So it could be something, you know, as simple as just working down the G, you know, the C major scale, and then just hitting that D chord, just kind of experimenting with it. Oh, we could just do E minor 7. Oh, do that all the way down. Just do these little. Oh yeah, that's really cool. That's a little flash. Let's see if we can get that together too. That's cool. Oh, we could use the chromatic shift between the 5 chord and the 4 chord in the key of C, because it's all C too, right? So, and we could use the C major chord here, E minor 7, E minor 7, C major 7, and then we have we can do like a flat 7. Oh yeah, okay. All right, here we go. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. this? All right, let's do this. Just got to double check the tuning once in a while. Oh yeah, we could use that. We could benefit from the 5 to the 6 to the open Ds as well. 5, 6, natural 6. We could do the flat 7, minor third, 2, and then 1. Right. So as long as we stay in that, we get that 6. Sometimes the simpler the better. That might be easier to get that 9 in the bass. As we roll down, all upstroke. We'll play it in D Dorian, right? gotta get to the third finger here. There it is. So we have to retrain the fingers. We might have to start staying late until we hit 20 likes. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think I'm just about finished up, just about wrapping up. But I got a pretty good start, got a pretty good jump on this today. The D mixo, or the D Dorian mode. No, that's good. Another thing that we could do is just kind of drag chord tones, chord voices around to create a nice, really cool linear fill. Denim Dennis, what's going on? This is really cool too, to kind of get those triplets kind of working in our favor as we develop these types of lines too. Oh. Tighten that up though. I want to try to do like a da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da at the end of that. Just kind of break up that triplet sound. nice little Dorian thing, just kind of pulling that flat 7, 5, 6. Go back up to the 4, 2, 1, the 4, and then the flat 7, 2, 4, and then we head over to the 5, the 4, the flat 3, and then the 9. And that way I only need a downstroke, an upstroke, an upstroke, little Al Di Meola technique here, down, up, and then pull, and then up. That's what it is. So how does that fit together? 2, 3, 4, down, 2, down. Oh, about time to take a break here. Have a good day, guys. I'm just going to hang out for a few more minutes. I really appreciate you hanging out here and getting those likes. Oh, we get 20. Yeah, we got 21 likes. Thanks, man. Denim Dennis for the rescue. Yeah. Sounds good. Well, thanks very much for being here, gang. We'll see you tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. Until we meet again, happy picking. We'll see you then.